Europe wired $10 billion to build batteries. A factory the size of a small Swedish town went up in 18 months. Then BMW quietly chose to wait. 8 months later, the factory was bankrupt. 8 months after that, an American startup bought what was left, for half what Europe had spent. This is the largest industrial bankruptcy in modern Swedish history. The company was Northvolt. Founded in 2015 by Peter Carlsson and Paolo Cerruti, both former Tesla executives, in a country that had no battery industry of its own. The pitch was strategic. Europe could not depend on Chinese cells forever. Sovereignty required factories. Factories required capital. The capital came. In 2019, a first $1 billion from Volkswagen, Goldman Sachs, and BMW. On June 9, 2021, $2.75 billion more. Same lead investors, plus Sweden's largest pension funds and Canada's OMERS. On August 22, 2023, $1.2 billion more. In January 2024, a $5 billion green lending facility. One of the largest in European history. Across 23 rounds and 53 investors, Northvolt raised approximately $10 billion. In 2021, the Skellefteå gigafactory came online. Sweden's largest single industrial investment in a generation. Plans were announced for 5 more factories across Europe and North America. Peter Carlsson was celebrated. Awards. State dinners. The face of Europe's industrial future. The Skellefteå factory could not scale. The target was 100,000 cells per week. Yields were low. Equipment that worked at lab scale did not translate to gigafactory volume. Automotive-grade cell production is technically demanding. 5 to 7 years of process refinement is standard. Northvolt was trying to compress this and ship paid contracts at the same time. Through 2022 and 2023, the gap between commitments and delivery widened. In May 2024, BMW privately informed its investors it was canceling its $2 billion contract with Northvolt. The reason? Northvolt's cells did not meet automotive-grade specifications for energy density and reliability. BMW's new vehicle platform, the Neue Klasse, also required cylindrical cells. Northvolt's lines were tooled for prismatic cells. The capital cost to retool was prohibitive. The single biggest customer had pivoted. Northvolt could not follow. The cancellation became public on June 20, 2024. In September 2024, Northvolt announced approximately 1,600 layoffs at Skellefteå, roughly 25% of the site workforce. Production targets were cut. The capital window closed quickly. 4 months later, so did the financing. On November 21, 2024, Northvolt filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy in New York. The filing reported $30 million in cash, 1 week of operating runway, and $5.8 billion in debts. Scania committed a $100 million debtor in possession financing to keep the lights on. On November 22, 2024, Peter Carlsson resigned as CEO. He said the company needed at least $1 billion in new equity to continue. None was forthcoming. On March 12, 2025, Northvolt filed for bankruptcy in Sweden, the largest industrial bankruptcy in the country's modern history. Volkswagen wrote down hundreds of millions. Goldman Sachs wrote down hundreds of millions more. BMW's earlier stake evaporated. Sweden's largest pension funds, AP1 through AP4, AMF, and Folksam, wrote down their positions. A Swedish parliamentary inquiry was opened into pension exposure. On August 6, 2025, the bankruptcy estate signed a sale agreement with Lyten Incorporated, a U.S. battery startup founded in 2015 in San Jose, California. The deal value, approximately $5 billion. In late February 2026, Lyten completed the acquisition. Legal title transferred. Skellefteå, Västerås, Heidi, all now owned by a private American company with a battery technology that has not yet been proven at gigafactory scale. Europe raised approximately $10 billion to build its own battery champion. The factory was built. The factory worked. It was sold to America for half what Europe had spent. The sovereignty bet was always a sovereignty bet, just not Europe's. Peter Carlsson published a memoir. Skellefteå is restarting. The conveyor belts are still running. They belong to someone else now.